Okay, so first off, I gotta say this right now. That was an incredible race, start to finish. They took away the stage cautions for the road courses, and I think the way they did that, FTF have been doing that for years since they first started doing stages. It worked well on the road courses. This race was fantastic, regardless of the fact that there was a lack of cautions. And I think not only should this be on every road course, I think this needs to be on every single racetrack for every single NASCAR race that they do, because this was absolutely phenomenal of a NASCAR race on this road course, and a really good way to send it off for possibly the final road course race before the Oval. You can see a lot of teams have already packed up, the pit box is already torn down, but they're not exactly leaving just yet because there's still a test session tomorrow to get ready for next year's potential Brickyard 400 to celebrate the 30th anniversary. I want to start off with this. Michael McDowell, what an absolute drive by him. We looked at him going into this race. He started up there in the top 10, and you could have looked at him as the potential favorite. He could have been a guy that could have taken this win. I don't think anybody expected that he was going to dominate this race the way that he did. The way he just absolutely controlled this race start to finish. He led 54 laps of the, I believe, 82. He led over half the race against some of the best road course racers that are in the series, like Daniel Suarez and Chase Elliott. He had to earn this race today, especially considering on that first sequence of pit stops where they had the left rear tire had a very slow stop, and that cost him the lead to Daniel Suarez, who dove it into the pits. But he drove it back, got back around him, and ran away from him, and had to defend from the two best road course racers, and more than likely the best team on the grid. So overall, an incredible race. Let's look through the top 10 real quick. Michael McDowell, like we said, winner of the race. Chase Elliott, a hard-fought second place, was held up by Mike Rockenfeller late in the race. That potentially cost him the win. And Daniel Suarez was really a contender to win this race, but the left front tire changer ended up having the hose land on the tire, and that ended up costing him the race. Tyler Reddick scores a 4th place finish. Alex Bowman, a much needed 5th place finish in his hunt for the championship. Chase Briscoe, another guy, a much needed finish, finishes 6th in his hometown race. Very happy with that. Martin Truex Jr., again, a very solid 7th place finish. Kyle Larson just announced today what his paint scheme is going to look like for next year's Indianapolis 500. He's going to have his test later this year to get ready for the rookie orientation, and now he leaves here with an 8th place finish. Christopher Bell holds on to a 9th place finish, and Shane Van Gisbergen, honestly, probably a lot of people's picks to win this race. He got taken to school today. He got very well introduced to how these people race, and he really had to earn it. An incredible finish for him and a hard-fought 10th place finish. Looking down some of the other people you need to keep an eye on. Chris Buescher, he does not go 3 in a row. He finishes back in 11th. And Bubba Wallace, the guy who came into this race 15th with about a 58-point advantage from the cut line. Because this drops him. He was at one point 30 points with, I believe, if Daniel Suarez kept the lead. And then because Michael McDowell wins, he actually had about 32, dropped to 26, now has a 28-point advantage on the cut line. And the only person he's racing right now is Daniel Suarez and Ty Gibbs, as well as Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. But he cannot afford to have anybody else win this race. And with tracks like Watkins Glen coming up, it's going to be a tough battle for him. So overall, fantastic race. I know a lot of people are going to be asking about the NHRA race. I wish I had an update for you. They had rain come through earlier in the morning, which really delayed them. They got started about an hour or two ago, so they're still going. So I'll hopefully have updates on Twitter and Instagram for you guys on that. Overall, just a fantastic race. Now, let's bring in a special guest, and then we can wrap up this weekend and give your final thoughts as we get ready to leave the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All right, so to end this video off, again, we have the photographer, the guy who's brought you a lot of cool shots this weekend that I've been posting on Twitter, Kevin Rollins. He was supposed to do the INDYCAR video yesterday, but he had to leave. So we're going to give an opportunity to really give us the final thoughts from his perspective, being in the photo holes. Kevin, you've come here for a long time. I know this meant a lot to you. You didn't get a chance to celebrate your Scott Dixon win yesterday. Kind of take us to the weekend, I guess.
Let me put it this way. Out of all of the races that INDYCAR has ran, and I'm going to start with INDYCAR because they ran yesterday. Out of all of the races that INDYCAR has ran on the road course, I think this is going to rank, the one that ran yesterday is going to rank either first or second in terms of how it played out. It was a great race between Scott Dixon and Graham Rahal. It really came down to pure speed versus tire management. And tire management won with Scott Dixon, of course, which was fantastic to see. On a personal note, you know, as a Scott Dixon fan for many years, it's been a very long time coming. And you know this. You've been around for a lot of the agony, especially with the Indy 500. It was a very long time coming. For the Rahal team, what a turnaround. When we were last here on the IndyCar circuit, Graham didn't qualify. And then he had a very difficult Indy 500 race when he was in a car that he knows, but with an engine manufacturer that he doesn't know and a team that he doesn't know that only runs one race a year. To see that RLL team as a whole step up is a huge improvement. I mean, they had a front row lockout with Rahal and Lundgaard, and their lowest qualified car was Jack Harvey, and he was in 8th. Considering the fact that Joseph Newgarden with Team Penske, the man who won here a couple months ago on the oval for the Indy 500, qualified on the penultimate row, that shows the step forward that the Rahal team has taken as a whole. And don't forget, they also won the pole for the May Grand Prix earlier this year. Now, as for NASCAR, that was a very interesting race. I think that's one of the cleanest races stock cars have ever had here on any circuit. Michael McDowell, a lot of people can say what they want about winning at Daytona or Talladega. The man has a Daytona 500 win, and he went out here and he dominated today, and he had to earn it. He had Chase Elliott, a man who we know his abilities on road courses, sniffing down his neck pretty much the entire final stages of the race. And he withstood that pressure, and the gap really didn't shrink towards the end. So it was a fantastic race for NASCAR. It does show that going without stages actually works. And also, hopefully this is the final time we see them on the road course, because we need the Brickyard 400 back going that direction.
Which we'll get to see tomorrow. Obviously, another thing you need to keep in mind about, too, about the fact of how much this win might mean for him, the fact that he is a former Champ Car driver. So he was a former open wheel driver who obviously probably had aspirations to come to this facility and run the 500-miler. Now he comes here as a NASCAR driver, and much like AJ Allmendinger experienced 2 years ago, finally captures that win, and now he's won at arguably the two biggest circuits on the motorsports landscape in North America, getting to win at Daytona and now getting to win at NASCAR. Obviously, he's at the 400, but man, oh man, what a race.
I do want to throw one last thing in there. A lot of media attention has been behind Shane van Gisbergen. That's how you say it, by the way.
Gisbergen.
Yes. About, last time he ran in NASCAR, it was at the Chicago Street Race, and he won his first time out. And he went ahead and he backed that up. Now, he didn't win today, of course, but he got a top 10. And it was an impressive run from him all day long. He was very solid. He looked like he was a veteran in these cars. Just want to throw that in there.
And also, Kamui Kobayashi, by the way, we're going to get in interviews real quick so we can wrap this up, but Kamui Kobayashi had a very hard-fought day. He got taken to school, a guy who's very well used to single-seaters and the high downforce and the high brake power to run these heavy stock cars. He left with, I believe, a 33rd place finish to end the day, but overall, incredible to see him come out here, and I hope to God this is not the last time we see him.
Exactly. I mean, this is a guy who raced in Formula One. He has won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He is the track lap time record holder at Le Mans. And also, if you watched IMSA when he ran in the Hendrick Motorsports Ally Cadillac, you know what kind of moves that this guy can do. We know he is a professional by every sense of the word in a prototype, but for him to step out of his comfort zone into a stock car is, I'd say he did get taken through the school of hard knocks today, but every driver has to eventually, and I hope we see him back.
Absolutely. So, first off, let's get some interviews. We'll play them here right now. You kind of got taken to the school of hard knocks in terms of NASCAR and your European-style racing. You're used to these cars are so fragile to contact that you want to avoid as much as possible. Kind of reflect on that, because you got a couple of hard hits from guys like Stenhouse and others. Kind of take us through that for what it was like for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is NASCAR. I'm not surprised, to be honest, but for me to be here is, I think I need a bit more speed, consistent. I need to know exactly what I have to do in the car. I think still for me running, but anyway, I think I had good speed at some point, and then I feel pretty confident in the car. So yeah, I think I definitely enjoy, and I hope I have another chance to come back here.
Obviously, you have the relationship being a team principal of the WEC program over for Gazoo Racing. Talk about what it's like working with the North American division of this program, and what it was like working with them throughout the weekend, and just kind of the pride you feel having been so close with the Toyota family now, and actually part of the Toyota Corporation.
Well, I think the WEC has always been very tough, but I think we working very hard to be, fighting always and the best. I think everyone needs the best, and I think we try to be more global active, being many driver, go around to get the experience. I think this is one of the Toyota targets. So I think so far I think we work hard. We see how it goes in the next couple of years.
And obviously, there's the ongoing rumors of a possible WEC race coming in Indianapolis. Obviously, these cars are.
Are we coming to Indianapolis?
I've heard rumors about it in the past.
I don't know.
If that does happen, obviously these cars are on very opposite ends of the spectrum. Is there anything that you could take from this race and learning this course in this car that you could apply to the hypercar?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know at all. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, and then lastly, just kind of reflect on your time in Indiana. What was it like getting to interact with the Indiana fans and obviously the NASCAR crowd? Just kind of reflect on that, and what was it like for you this weekend?
I feel pretty good. I mean, everyone really enjoyed here in Indianapolis, and I got really enjoyed. Everyone, I think, it's a great support. Everyone, and I had the great respect for all the drivers. I think this was a great moment for me.
How was the double file restarts and getting more acclimated to the pushing and shoving of NASCAR?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Everyone was a lot more aggressive than Chicago, but I expected that. No one was, it wasn't bad stuff or overly aggressive. It's just how the racing is. I expected it. Everyone was fair. It was all good.
Did you close out on your future at all this weekend? Are you closer now?
We're closer, yeah, but I haven't closed anything out. I really have to sort Australia first, but that's looking promising, and then coming up with something here, and hopefully move over soon.
You got to take.
Truck race Friday night, and today, do you leave Indianapolis happy with how things went?
Yeah, I've had a smile on my face all weekend. That truck race was fun, just constantly learning, and just getting better and better all week, understanding the lingo and stop saying understeer and oversteer, and it's loose and tight, and it's been fun.
You got a taste of oval racing this past weekend when you raced the trucks out at IRP. Is there any desire with the fact that there's a possibility they're going to be going to the oval next year? Is that a bucket list race for you?
I don't know if it's bucket list, but it's certainly on the list to come and have a go, yeah.
All right, so to wrap it up, again, thank you guys so much for watching. The fact that we're standing here right now is absolutely ridiculous. Like I've been saying that every single time I go to a racetrack, but it gets crazier and crazier. Thank you guys so much for supporting. We got a long way to go. I'm excited for the fact that I get to do stuff like this, the fact that we're standing on pit road, the fact that I'm up in the media center, the fact that I get to walk around the garage and talk to race car drivers for a living is absolutely crazy, and it's because of the fact that you guys support this channel so much, especially the NHRA content, which I'm excited to be able to go back to IRP in a couple weeks time to go experience another US Nationals, and I am just so excited for that. And again, in terms of the Heartland Nationals, I'll have updates on Twitter for that. I'm going to be sleeping all day tomorrow, so don't expect the video for that. But again, just thank you guys so much. Kevin, I guess final thoughts for you.
I mean, coming here and being able to cover any race is a dream. And it's not just a dream shared by us, but a lot of people who come to this facility. And anyone, everybody who watches racing videos on YouTube, everybody who, is active on social media, they dream about coming here and covering any event. Obviously, the Indy 500 is an easy thing to want to dream about, but any event here is special because it is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it's because of you guys that we have been able to come here and do this. It's because of you guys that we're able to go to any NHRA event that we want to cover it. It's because of you guys that we are who we are, and I know Noah shares the same feelings, but from the bottom of both of our hearts, thank you for everything. And you know what? Let's see it grow. Let's see where this can take us. So tell your friends, like, share, subscribe, tweet the links to the videos out, message it to your family members on Facebook. Just get the word out there about what we're doing, because it does mean the world to us. All of this means the world to us. So thank you.
Way to steal my outro. Lastly, follow all social media pages, Mighty Mac 03 on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, TikTok. We're on there. Like he said, share, subscribe, like, comment, get the word out so that everybody knows about drag racing and can experience that, and so everybody can know about this. Everybody already knows about this, but need to come out to this because there ain't nothing like it. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Follow us, like us, do all that. And until the U.S. Nationals in the 8 hours or whatever the hell we're doing next, this is Mighty Mac, and we will see you next time.